state government is bracing for the worst tomorrow. Good evening. State budget cuts are expected to be brutal.
For some, the cuts will be far worse than for others. The current budget deficit is more than $1.5 billion. Of that, healthcare is expected to absorb almost half the cuts. That will likely mean services are reduced for the elderly, disabled, and the poor. Higher education is bracing for a hit of $400 million or more. UST's Mark Armstrong went to lawmakers for answers on how the state ended up in such a mess and who's responsible.
Well, for months now, the Jindal administration has blamed the drop in oil prices for the deficit. But in reality, this is only a small part of the problem. The big problem is that for years now, the governor has been using temporary money to pay its recurring bills, and lawmakers have not been able to stop him. The big question, will lawmakers fight the governor on his cuts?
And I believe that my colleagues will rally together to do whatever we can to minimize the impact of these cuts.
Or just kick the can down the road?
You know, I hear a lot, kick the can down the road.
The problem is a lack of money. Some say it started with tax cuts.
Cutting taxes and not having equal revenue-raising measures to match the taxes that we've cut.
But there's no will to raise taxes.
I certainly would not be in favor of new taxes.
So if we like it or not, the budget cuts are coming.
Well, we're going to have to do some serious cutting. So higher education and health care are going to be cut.
So are lawmakers doing enough to fight the governor, or are they just rubber stamping his plans?
Can't put this on his shoulders because the legislature's been compliant all the way.
Analysts say the governor holds a lot of power over lawmakers.
You're going to see exactly why the legislature doesn't stand up to him, because they are deathly afraid of losing projects in their districts.
Many believe it's a no-win situation. Now, the only preview that has come out about tomorrow's budget proposals are $500 million in rollbacks to tax credits to corporations. The money from these are meant to soften the blow to the two most vulnerable areas, higher education and healthcare. Mark Armstrong, WBRZ News 2.